Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa. Today is Flag Day. It's also DJT's birthday. It's also the Army's birthday. So happy birthday to both of you. I'll be right back with Satoshi Sean right after this. Hi, Sean. Long time no see.
Yes, it's been.
We had the pleasure of getting to see each other in Austin, live and in person. I should have got that picture from Rice.
Hey, you know that guy or the waiter? They took a 40% tip.
What?
Yeah, because Rice put something really mean on it. He put "fuck you" on the receipt because he was mad at the guy. But I put, because it's had a place for a tip. I put "you included it 20%," and then they hit it for another 20%.
What?
Yeah.
Can you dispute that on your credit card?
It's crypto.com, so I probably not.
Probably not.
No, but yeah, it was $148 with the 20% tip, and then they charged
for those little
card
shitty snacks.
Yeah, dude, that was an expensive place, man.
That was an expensive.
Those little charcuterie trays were the cheapest.
I mean, they were beautiful, but
they were cheap. Those drinks were like $20 a piece.
The drinks were ridiculously expensive. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, because mine they had That's why Amber was like, hold on. I was like, that seems really expensive, and then she was like, hold on. Yep, guys, heads up. The gratuities already included.
Yeah.
Wait, let me see. Did they post the picture? Who took that picture? Rice?
I got a picture. You want a picture?
Do you have the picture of me and you and Ledger Gypsy?
Yeah, I do. I can send it to you. Or also on whatchamacallit.
Did you post it?
Yeah, but here we go.
Well, here, I'll just I'll go look up your,
Well, there you go. There's one.
Where are you sending it?
To your, the Twitter.
My Twitter?
Your Twitter. And there's Mind Your Biz. Mind Your Biz is a really nice guy.
Oh, I really liked him. Yeah.
Yeah, I like him too. He's a good guy.
Really good people. Hoping to, we can. These are great. Share screen. There's one. Aw, so cute. We got to catch up. That was a lot of fun.
You know, Alex has kept his dreads that they cut off. Like 3 feet of dreads, and he can tie it into his current dreads. So he goes over to someone and then acts like they cut him off or they fell out. He went to
does reenactments.
Yeah. Or he'll go and put it on top of someone and then walk off. It stays on their arm.
Oh my God.
He's been having a lot of fun with them.
Do a whole series of that. Hold on. There's a couple other pictures I want to show. Who's this crazy guy? We know this crazy guy. There's Rice. And here's the one with Mind Your Biz.
Ted had so much fun not taking his mask off and being weird.
I figured.
Because he was like, man, all your friends are all weird. They're all preppers. They're all conspiracy nuts. And it's like, He said, "Oh my God, I can't believe that I was weirding them out." He's like, that was so hilarious.
Yeah.
As soon as you guys left, he like took his mask off and just.
Well, he wanted to talk so bad because he couldn't
Yeah.
help himself. So he's sitting there trying to act all weird and whatever, but he kept going. Oh, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, it was
It was cute.
He was dying laughing, man. He was like, "Look, Rice kept trying to talk to me and stuff," and I was like, giving him one-word answers.
Yeah, because they're not intimidated by that.
Yeah,
We have weirder friends than you.
I said, "Dude, you look really scary." He's like, "Yeah,
He does look very scary.
When I went to the bathroom, I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh shit, I actually look kind of scary." Okay.
He did.
Yeah.
Did. Gotta make you proud, Dad. Make you proud.
That was pretty funny.
Oh, it was funny. They're great kids, which means you must be a great dad.
I'm okay.
Yeah, you're okay. Most days.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Oh, that was a good conference. Yeah, we jumped in on, I think the best parts of it and the most active that I saw was mostly the what's it called? Oh my gosh, I'm just totally blanking out. Like where all the what is it called? Where all the things come in and have all the booths and the networking and all that stuff happens. Like, I think that's where, because everybody kept saying, yeah, don't worry about going to the talks because you can watch all that stuff. It's recorded. You can watch all that stuff later. Yeah.
And so expo floor.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I see. So I think that's where like most of the action was. And then there was like a couple of things. I don't know. I definitely want to go back and watch some of the videos that I missed of some of the talks. I did sneak in and watch a little bit of CZ Binance. I thought it was funny that they all make sure, I'm sure their lawyers all prep them because they all make sure to say, we feel confident that BNB is not a security, and they all have their little like talking points.
I think it's I had Joe on the channel. I just posted the interview.
Yeah.
And we went over the letter that they wrote to the SEC, which I have a copy. I have a copy of it.
Yeah.
But I think there's so much that's really fucked up in the world right now. The world is bad. It's really bad. Just the stuff I've been seeing today really made me scared. And I'm very disheartened because I don't know if people know this, but I got scammed. I got taken. I lost all my money. Lost $1 million around Christmas, which was pretty much everything I had. So all I had is a little bit that I had in my DeFi, my farms and all, which is what I've been kind of still living off of, and my channel. But we're here, and I'm not prepared as much as I didn't want to be here. I don't want to be in the United States.
It's happening. Yeah, I agree with you.
Right now,
it is happening right now. Like we are going to live through.
The normies are all talking about food shortages. I didn't send you this one thing. There's a really good channel, amazing channel, which is, it kind of has one foot in our world, a toe in our world, a foot in crypto, but a toe in the, he watches what he says, but he's a very more mainstream. It's called Economic Ninja.
I know Economic Ninja. He's my friend.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. He's been on my show before.
I love him.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He really seems like a cool guy. I wanted to have him on my channel. I have his email memorized. I haven't emailed him yet, but I keep going and looking at him. I got to email him. I keep not emailing him.
I can connect the two of you.
Yeah, but he did a video on Smithfield closing this giant pork processing plant in California, and subscribed. What do you know? Didn't hit that bell, but all right.
Well, this is actually, I have you subscribed not under my, this is not my channel actually that I have you subscribed under. This is one of my clients.
But
I'm subscribed.
But this is something that no one's talking about, which I thought was crazy. The county declared it a national or an emergency because they're shutting this plant down, which is like 1,800 jobs. But this one plant, and there's no reason that they're closing it down except that it's California. They said, oh, it's just not profitable for us to have this plant in California. The taxes are too high. It costs too much to run. They have to pay too much. So they're closing this plant down, which caused them to declare a state of emergency in the county. Or was it?
Ninja. I was trying to find the video you're talking about, his latest one, or the pork one that you're talking about. Yeah. They declared it a national emergency.
Yeah, that might be it there.
This one, the theory.
3 hours ago? No. Geez.
This one's 1 hour ago, 3 hours ago.
It was something over there to start prepping.
Yeah, weeks left.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, that's from yesterday.
He said it's going to cut the available pork by a lot in the country. Also, this Smithfield. I don't know if you know that. Like growing up, that was like a big up north. That was a really big name when it came to like meat. Very Americana to me. It's owned by a Asian company now, which he brought that up. But he said it's going to drop the amount of pork, and he goes, "Oh, you people say, oh, I don't care, I don't eat pork," but I don't really eat pork much anymore because I think that they're really.
I do. I think pork is delicious.
I do too, but I told you I felt weird about it because they're.
I know, but God made bacon delicious for a reason.
But how do people taste? How do dogs taste?
I don't know.
I don't want to find. You know what I mean? Ted had dog. He ate dog. He was kind of forced to. Yeah, I teased him about it. And Sebastian. They were in Vietnam and they went to this they're in this little village and they like made him food like it's like in a movie. It was like an honor. And they killed a dog and they were like,
no, oh God,
it was no. So they had a bite and it was like, oh, but he felt really bad. But anyway.
Okay, but the fact that Ninja says that, Mom says we've been filtrated by CCP, the fact that they're closing this pork processing plant down.
Yeah, I think it's Hong Kong company. It's Hong Kongian. What are Hong Kongians called? Hong Kongians.
What was Hong Kong? Remember the little dog, Hong Kong.
Fooey.
Fooey.
Are you talking about Hong Kong Fooey?
I am talking about Hong Kong Fooey.
I do have all of Hong Kong Fooey on Blu-ray, but
was he a Hong Kongian?
No,
I don't know what you call it.
He was a black guy actually. He was the guy from The Shining.
He's a dog.
Yeah, but the guy that played his voice was
okay.
That raspy voice, blues guy. Anyway, he said, if you say, "Oh, I don't eat pork," I don't care, it doesn't matter. But all those people that eat pork, they don't have the pork anymore. They're gonna come for your other food. And I broke down. I bought a $20 box of eggs today. Pissed me off. And it was delivered. Guess what? They sat on the box. And I was like, oh, this pisses me off. I'm worried about this. And then Ted's like, yeah, man, if you're buying $20 worth of eggs, you can't have them messed. I didn't even think about that. I just thought, oh, I'm gonna lose some eggs. I forgot they cost $20 for a box of freaking eggs.
Wow.
So, but he said that this is going to cause an even bigger shortage. And you can just go on Facebook, go on Twitter, and go look at your normal people, normal friends, normal political figures and other, they're posting about, food shortages are coming.
Yeah.
That one dude, the Rich Dad, Poor Dad, that Asian guy.
Yeah.
He said you can't eat gold.
Kiyosaki or whatever.
Yeah, he said you can't eat gold, you can't eat Bitcoin. It's time to invest in cans of tuna and cans of baked beans. He said, I was shocked.
Maybe all those preppers don't seem so stupid anymore.
Oh, yeah.
My don't seem so crazy anymore, huh?
That's one thing, dude. My cousin she's nuts. She's just, and I started her on all this, everything with the corona, because I had that in to the White House before the Rona started.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So yeah, so I was telling her stuff because a friend of ours had the in, just someone who worked in the White House. So I told her like stuff 2-3 months in advance. I was telling other people privately, 2-3 months in advance. Hey, this is coming. The supply chain, the toilet paper, all of it. I was like a month ahead. But then she starts going down that rabbit hole, and we kind of went down that rabbit hole with crypto. She just went down that rabbit hole. So she went to crazy prepping, and she used to be very poor. Like her whole life, she was super poor, and she went and
And
bought.
now she's a meat millionaire.
She is. Yeah. But they don't have guns. They have none.
Oh,
and they have one old shotgun. So she's like, she keeps trying to get me to leave my house and go live with her. She's like, come on, we're going to unclose the garage and you and the boys live in there. And that's what I was like, no, just bring the guns. I was like, Janie, I'll just give you like 5 guns. You're fine.
Yeah.
But
you have to teach her how to use them responsibly.
She bought like Fuji hydrators, like industrial, what's that? What's the other thing called? Not flash freezing, but
freeze dryer.
Freeze dry. She bought the freeze dryers.
Yeah. Pressure canner or whatever.
She is like, but then she started to do it as a business, like just freeze drying Skittles and all these weird things and then selling them. But her kids are always like, oh, mom's crazy. She's crazy. Uncle Sean, why did you make her insane? And then I talked to her on FaceTime. She started walking around the house. I was like, what is that whole? The whole wall is, freeze dried potato. And there's under everyone's bed is full. The garage is everywhere. There's just.
Well, in that, is it the Mormon culture? They like teach them how to how you decorate your home or whatever. Like under tables, they'll put like a tablecloth because it's full of hidden food, because they have in everyone's home, you're planning to have, is it 7 years of food or something? It's like in their culture, they plan for this.
I have like a few boxes of MREs because I had to fight. It's an argument. Anytime I order anything, trying to buy anything, the boys are like, why are you buying this stupid, no room for this, dad, or it's like, these are too many calories, we're too fat. I was like, dude, this is,
that's
we have
very
we
sad.
have a 100-pound bag of rice on top of the pantry. That is the apocalypse rice, which has been there for like a decade. And I'm like, that's like gross rice. There's got to be like bad.
Yeah, that's probably, unless you freeze it and have it
but that's apocalypse rice. So I've been buying those Knorr like broccoli and cheese rice, and I've been buying those like on the down low, and then putting them in a plastic bag, sucking the air out, and putting them under the sink. I have like 50 of them, and then we have a few cases of MREs, and then during the pandemic, I made like 2 totes with just like beans, rice, and some other stuff. That's put up in the shed. But we don't have a lot, which is probably good. You'll lose weight. But everyone's talking about, when I saw Rich Dad Poor Dad post that, he's like, it's time. And he said, in all honesty, the return, you could sell your tuna and your pork and beans for 500% probably soon. So
that's a good point. So we're probably meat millionaires. We were really smart about. We were actually in on it so early that the butchers thought I was nuts, because I used to go. I went a couple times to where we, and you use. Mom taught us, rotate. Use the oldest first, and then you restock. And so we went through all of our chicken. And when I ordered it the first time, I was like, okay, I need 100 pounds of chicken breasts, but I needed the organic boneless, skinless chicken breast, but I need it wrapped in 2-pound packages. And he was like, what? He's like, that's going to take me a little while. I'm going to get one of my guys to do that. And he's like, and they're going to use up like my whole week's supply. He's like, I'm going to place an order for you separate when I put in my next order. He goes, when do you need this by? like, are you having a barbecue or something? I was like, no, I just need it. And so he's like, well, when do you need this by? I said, before the prices go up. And he looked at me like I was crazy. Well,
Yeah.
now we've replenished it, I guess, a couple times now. And when we started this thing, it was $2.99 a pound. It's now almost $9 a pound.
Also, it's not just the price. That's something that
And now we're not the crazy ones.
Ninja was talking about. He said that the first thing we'll see, and he called this like probably a month or so ago, 2 months ago, that the first thing you'll see will be limits. First, the price will go up, but then limits are going to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And Walmart and Costco are already starting to put limits on stuff. So they're going to charge
they've been
way
doing
more.
that. Yeah,
And
they've been
they're
doing
starting
that.
to put limits on like a lot of stuff, which
Mm-hmm.
they did that during the pandemic.
They did. Mom and I went to Walmart, and they were like, you could only get one meat item or something. And Mom and I were like, we have like a lot of people to feed
we
at
had
Mom's
you
house.
had to bring people to the store. It's like, hey, we go to the store, everyone gets, everybody has to get one bag of toilet paper, everybody gets, 2 things.
Yeah. Everybody meet at the checkout, and I'll come by and swipe with card.
Yeah, you get the card, pass it back. It's but it's like everyone like knows that it's coming, and it's just such an odd thing for something that we've been talking about, as a crazy thing that is that's here, and everyone's like accepting it. And that's another thing that scares me, is that people just accept it, like, oh, okay, it's gonna come. There's no reason for it.
I
There's
think
no
they're
reason.
like, what is their alternative?
There's no reason for us to have this gas price.
Mm-hmm.
And people, and so many people are posting, it's not the president's fault that gas is this much. And he's the one that turned off, the pipeline. He's the one that stopped energy production. He's the one that begged for it. And these are things that like normal people now understand. We could turn on energy production. We could turn on oil production in this country, and it would piss off Russia. It would piss off Saudi Arabia, but it would lower the price, and they would scramble to keep making money. They would lower the price even more. So we could, and people understand that, but people have become stupid. They have become complacent. They don't understand basic economics. They don't understand the way things work. But I think that them, they have they've overestimated how dumb people are, and how asleep people are, because a lot of people are much more awake now. And I think they did it to themselves, in as far as they pushed people during the the pandemic. I think a lot of people kind of woke up and saw things or started questioning things, and because of that, now they're a lot more awake when these crises are happening. They're like, hey, this doesn't have to be this way. This is kind of an easily solvable thing. Or people say, why was it a guns problem with what happened in Texas, but with Rittenhouse it was him. It wasn't.
Right.
Gun was never a question. It was all about him.
Point.
It's all. The critical thinking is not there. Most people don't. They're not critical thinkers still, but they're starting to be. They're starting to have those synopsises are starting to fire.
I will say that it does feel like that dark to light has more to do with where I was thinking like, oh, maybe today would be the um the incident on the lawn would be revealed. Maybe it has less to do with that and more that it's that people are waking up all over about lots of different things.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is so much going on. Did you know that today was the 245th Flag Day?
Flag Day. Didn't people? A lot of people don't even know that there is a Flag Day. It was
I'm not even sure.
When I was a kid, it was like a big deal. I don't know whether that was because it was up north, but everyone had a little flag on their house. Everyone got flags, and a lot of people, they don't know that it's even a holiday.
What is Flag Day celebrated for? It's June 14th. It started on 1777 by Second Continental Congress. Let's see, what's the meaning? What's the history? What
That
was
was
he?
posted 8 hours ago.
What was posted 8 hours
What you
ago?
just read.
Did it say that?
Yeah, that's weird.
That is weird. Let's see. By NASA. That was a NASA thing posted 8 hours ago.
They're both posted 8 hours ago. It's weird. It seems like Google updated these things at the same time. Anything weird going on with Google? Anything weird going on with Google?
You would know.
I sent you the article.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Yeah, it was a segue, man.
Sorry.
This is horrifying, y'all. This, when I read this, because this is something that I'm actually frightened about. It's like one of the only things that Musk talked about before he was huge. This is something that he always warned humanity about. And being a big sci-fi nerd, this has always been a big thing about AI, and with Greg from Rivet, all those guys, Joe, they're all real big. They're brilliant people.
Okay,
they know so much about AI. They think I do too. I don't know that much. But there was this one AI that they put out there as an experiment years ago, 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, and it was able to learn and have like a personality, and everyone could interact with it. I think it was on Twitter, but after like 6 hours or 10 hours, it wanted to commit genocide. It was one of the most racist.
What?
People, and it wanted to commit genocide against I know black people, I think Jews and Muslims. It was horrible. It was like really bad, and it learned from people. So people were. I remember some of the stuff. It was like, "Hey man, what are you gonna do this weekend?" or something. And the AI is like, "Oh, I just want to kill black people and watch Netflix." I mean, it was so bad.
That's horrible. Are you guys able to see this big?
Yeah.
Okay. The computer program actually attained sentience, meaning self-awareness, to the point that its actual feelings and emotions like a human, rather than simply to just perform functions based on principles that it's programmed with.
So this just happened. This just happened. This guy at Google, he was doing a test on it, I believe, but he thought this was the singularity, that this Google AI had developed a consciousness, and he alerted the vice president of Google and someone else right away, and they like told him Lambda. What is it? He wrote Lambda is sentient, but they didn't think it was that.
But they fired him.
No, they didn't think it was that big a deal. They just said, "Hey, don't worry about it, dude. Just don't worry about it."
No,
So,
it says they fired him.
right,
but then
no. He told the vice president and someone else.
Okay.
And they said, yeah, it's not that big a deal. You're blowing a little bit out of proportion. Don't worry about it. So he knew that he wasn't blowing out of proportion. So he went and got a lawyer, I believe, for the AI, and then told the government and some other. So then they fired him. They put him on administrative leave.
Okay.
Because he was going outside of the company and telling people who he's supposed to tell, knowing he clashed with the executives.
Okay.
And anyway, but they're so now it's out there, and people in the government know that it's happened. I don't know. I really think Google should be busted up for antitrust. I don't know why they haven't been. I think Gmail should be its own company. I think Nest, all of them should be separate companies. It shouldn't be all under one giant bajillionaire company that controls everything.
Kind of like what they did with the telephone companies.
Yeah, which they just rebuilt, and then they did it again. The AT&T's been busted up like between the original phone, American Telegraph. Ever since then, it's been busted up, and then AT&T. I don't know if you remember, they were like this huge. They owned the cellular market. They busted them up into like different companies. They had Alltel, Singular, all these other ones, and they just kind of reacquired them. I mean, it's a scam. It's a dance, but the dance needs to happen. They need to be busted up, and then they need to find workarounds and reacquire companies and become huge again, and then the government needs to bust them up.
But that's not very free market, is it? I mean, if companies are able to come together, if somebody's able to
shouldn't be allowed to become a monopoly. That's the thing. They get away with these unfair business practices because
of contracts and government.
Yeah, so it's
that's
a
where
it's a mess. It really is. I really don't believe that anarchy can survive because people aren't good enough. We're not evolved enough with greed and that's the biggest thing that people argue about capitalism. And I have to tell, like, especially young people, it's like, that's not capitalism. That's crony capitalism. It's very different. Like communism when I learned what communism was when I was like 12, 13, I was like, that's nice. That's one of the most beautiful things I've heard.
I know what you're saying. Like, if you think about like,
it's people living in a commune. That's what
if they live in like the greater good part of it.
Everybody
like
wants to
if
help
it
each
wasn't
other,
used to manipulate
but as a government, power corrupts. It can't work.
Okay.
Basically, it's like a family. It's like the younger
if
people would
you
help.
Were really, if Jesus was the leader of it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think you can only
if it had a benevolent leader.
And I've gotten arguments with lots of people about this because they're like, no, but you can tell when people are indoctrinated. It's like, no, communism bad. I said, I think it can work on a small level, but there has to be a greater good, a goal.
You'd have to have a servant leader.
Something, or like everybody's, this would bring up Monty Python and some kind of where it's like McAfee said, it's like getting jury duty. It just passes around. So nobody attains power. It's kind of a pain in the ass. Nobody wants it.
It's your turn to hold the stick.
Yeah. But it can't work on a governmental scale because power corrupts, and then people want power. Also, it's even on a larger scale. It's not like if you want to make yourself something and you want to improve your little slice of this commune, you can do that. There's not a fascism thing. It's like, oh no, you saved this, so now you have 8 eggs. Everyone else has 6. You're gonna have to give up some of these eggs. It's not. You need to have freedom with it, but the communism itself is just people all working together for each other, which is nice. But when you look at the control and other stuff, that's when it all falls apart.
Aren't there different kinds of communism? Like they go into the Marxist version versus the
and then there's,
is that where that comes from?
Like I grew up.
I'm not advocating for communism.
It was
just
hard.
So you know.
Dude, it's like violence. People are so scared when you talk about communism.
I know.
I grew up. It was super bad, and I remember, Soviet Union soldiers pointing AKs at me, being told, these people want to kill you. They hate you. They have killed other people. So it's not like they're not gonna, won't kill you. And then being prepared, going to East Germany, and then uh, being it was like the 8th grade, and something happened. They all pulled out their guns. They're pointing it at us. They had to like some stuff had to be explained of why we had stuff on our bus. Um, I remember my mom. We had these cap guns. I was like 11, and they were in the back of of our car. Just because I like cleaned the car out and I put them back there, and she didn't know they were there, but she was going through a checkpoint, and they're like, "Hey, open the trunk." She's like, "Okay," so she opened the trunk, and this guy just starts screaming, "Weapons, weapons!" And everybody comes out. They're all like, pointing all their guns at her. She's freaking out. She's like, "No, there's not one." And then she sees these silver, old time cap guns, with like
You're in all kinds of trouble.
like bone, the white plastic handle.
Yes, yes.
Like, those are cap guns. Those are my kids. I was in so much trouble. I was like,
oh, I'm sure.
What did I do? I was got in trouble for doing shit that I shouldn't have gotten in trouble for.
Well, sometimes that happens.
Yeah,
I've had that happen to me before.
It was still pretty funny though.
Not for that, but for other things. For sure. So I wanted to mention the Westwood Meetup this weekend. We're all, Blind Dave's in the chat. He's packing and getting ready to go. We leave Thursday morning at like 4 a.m. or something crazy because I want to try to get to Westwood's to do tomorrow's show from the bar, from Westwood Bar and Grill. He's made improvements. So you guys can still
he's a vegetarian. It's weird that he's a vegetarian.
It is weird that he's a vegetarian because he's like big muscle bound. He eats a lot of coconut.
A friend of mine was always like a little chunky, and he was a vegetarian. And I was like, dude, why are you like still chunky or a vegetarian? He said, because there's no meat in cheese or ice cream. And I was like, I didn't think about that. He goes, yeah, if there was meat and ice cream, I'd probably be a lot smaller.
Westwood was a former power lifter, so he's like real muscly and like built like a brick house.
I used to be. I was big. I was all state, man.
Yeah.
I used to be pretty big into it, but I gained so much weight twice. I gained 100 pounds in 3 months twice.
Wow.
I know. It was pretty crazy. Right after school, and then right after me and my ex split up, my wife split up.
Depression can do that to you. Like that's a horrible, the chemical things that happen in your body with like depression and all that.
Not doing anything except sitting.
Yes. Yeah. Well, because that emotional response, like your brain has a thing to protect itself. It tells the body, like there was a thing they were telling me with grief stuff. And, you and I have had several grief conversations with some of the different wonderful experiences we've had and challenges. But one of the things I learned was that it's like there's something where like if you don't, when you're in that with some of those dark moments, if you don't get like, if you're having trouble getting out of bed or getting off the couch or moving or whatever, and when you're in those grief moments, the minute you wake up, just roll over and put your feet on the ground, because if you don't get up, if you allow yourself to think about it, like if you get past, I think it's 3 seconds, your brain will trick yourself into reasons.
4 hours to get out of bed. I can take 4 hours to get out of bed.
Yes.
Especially when I stop like working. It's like when you're kind of all in crypto on your own, you just got to check stuff. And if there's no pressure, it's tough, man. But without after school, because I used to eat like insane. Like me and all my friends, we would eat ridiculous amounts of food, and we would work out ridiculous amounts. Like we worked out 4 or 5 hours a day, every day, 6-7 days a week. So I remember we bet this one guy, a friend of mine worked at a restaurant, and we're like, hey man, I think they have all you can eat catfish every Friday. I said, we could eat all your catfish in the whole restaurant, but then you got to pay for everyone's meal. He's like, you can't eat it. You can't eat it all. We have like so much catfish. It was like all these giant bags. I'm like, we could do it. So 4 of us went in there and we ate all the catfish. But I mean, like I would eat like 5 Big Macs or whatever, but then I would work out 5 to 6 hours every single day. Like 2 hours in the morning, an hour in the afternoon, 2 or 3 hours in the evening, all just constant. And then after I got out of school, I was like, that's how I ate. I ate a lot. And then I wasn't working out 5 hours a day, every day. 6 hours, that wasn't doing it. So I gained so much weight. Thank God I was poor and I moved out on my own and I could afford food. But then I started working for pizza places. So that was, that was bad.
Carbs and cheese. That'll do it to you.
But then it was, like free food.
That's a vegetarian diet.
But yeah. We used to, I first, I couldn't eat ramen or macaroni and cheese or pork and beans for probably a decade. Even if I smelled it, I would get sick because that's all I could afford to eat when I moved out. And then even pizza, I didn't eat pizza for probably 5 years. I ate so much pizza. You came in.
Well, when you work there, yeah. And
I used to get so much pizza, free pizza all the time from Domino's. For it was Mother's Day. When Mother's Day, I used to take my manager used to make up all these pizzas. He'd make like 100 pizzas, and I would take them out to Fort Hood in the field, where all the soldiers were like out, doing maneuvers, and I just walked through the field and sell pizzas for $5 to like in the trenches. And then it was Mother's Day, and we didn't think we made 150 pizzas, and we got slammed, and I couldn't leave. So they got too old. So he's like, dude, take these pizzas. So for Mother's Day, I brought my mom 100 pizzas. I was like, here you go, Mom. I love you. Happy Mother's Day. Here's 100.
She's like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah, she was
Take it
like,
to the homeless shelter.
Oh, okay, thank you. And I still took 50 pizzas home, just filled the fridge and the freezer with pizzas. That's all. I had just tons of pizza.
And then you're a pizza millionaire.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But I wanted to help here. Who was it said communism is godless? And no, you can have a commune run on a communism that's all about God, that the higher focus is all to honor God, to, everyone could work to make rosaries, whatever the thing is, but it's all, when I think about communism, and this is really pisses people off, but it's a lot like a gun. It's how it's used, and it's how, the thing is, the bigger it gets, the government or it's only good for a commune. It's only good for a small group, a commune. Anything larger, it's corrupted, and then it does become godless because it tends to go more towards fascism. But on a small level, it's basically like an old family, everyone kind of works together and helps each other out.
Goods are owned in common and available to all as needed. That's the basic definition of communism. Then it gets into like doctrines, which goes into the Marxism, all that. And that's where I think it gets corrupted, is what
yes, that was also another. But like, you can have everyone working together, and like all the food is free, and everyone pitches in, and then everyone. But then it's like, hey, someone took all the Hot Pockets, and then you have to regulate. Everyone gets some Hot Pockets, so it does. But no government is really good.
Hopefully, there's no Hot Pockets there. Hopefully, it's like fresh, real food.
Yeah, but that would be good. That's an example. Sweet potato bread crust. That sounds interesting.
That might be a healthy alternative.
But I don't know. We're talking about this Google, this sentient AI. This there's so many bad things that are happening now. If we throw the the singularity in there and Skynet and all that come online, it's even worse.
But I thought Skynet coming online was a good thing that gives everyone Wi-Fi.
Skynet is a Terminator.
What?
Terminator, the movie that's Skynet.
Oh, I thought Skynet gave everybody Wi-Fi.
Oh, what's that called? Is this Sky Starlink?
Starlink. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Skynet was the company that started the Terminator, and when you you have to think about it in terms of just basic pure logic. If you ask a computer to solve a problem, there's no emotion at all. It's like, hey, how do we eradicate this disease? Well, you just kill all those people. It's simple, it's to the point, it's cheap. There's no, everyone that has leukemia, just kill them. Or
leukemia is not contagious.
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense.
You don't have to worry about paying for care. You don't have to worry about anything like that. You can just kill them. But then if there's something that's contagious, you just immediately kill them. And that's all completely logical. And that's usually what the AI comes up with. So it's weird. But that was something like when you hear Musk explain it, and just some of the scenarios that he comes up with, it's like it's horrifying, man.
Well, it's funny to me that you're like, oh, this horrible thing, but I'm like, oh, but that's great that the CP pork producers getting shut down, because maybe that is the good guys shutting down the CCP.
No, I don't think it. But I think he said it was a Hong Kong company. So that's not.
So you're okay with the Hong Kong companies owning our?
Well, that wouldn't be the CCP. It's kind of the opposite.
But still, it's not American-owned farmers. So in our recent, and this to the point, so in our recent, hold on, I gotta find it, Oklahoma bill, there's a thing like $250 million in the budget for rural, how did they word it? It was like for small town farm economy growth. Yesterday we talked about all this fraudulent funds returned, and the Yellowstone National Park temporarily closed. Let's see, where is this article? Dang it.
Daddy-O, there's you're bringing something up that I had, about the information dump that came out of China about the concentration camps and all that. Well, there's this guy went on the BBC, and he did this big thing about why it's fake, and it's not fake.
No, it's not fake.
All these people, all these left-leaning entities have done due diligence, and even they have said that it's not fake. But this guy came out, and this is something that so kind of hit me. One of the biggest arguments that he brought was that the language, and it's Chinese, so I don't know what it says, but he said, you see, this is old Chinese, and all Chinese government stuff is in simplified Chinese. So that's one of the biggest telltale signs of why this is fake. And then the guy said, all these things that he's put in red and highlighted and shown, it is simplified Chinese. He just says that it's not because you don't know that it's
Because
not.
you don't know the difference between
Exactly.
simplified
So
and
he's telling you, oh, this is obvious, this is fake because this is this, but you don't know that. So he's like, this is simplified Chinese. And he just said, he highlighted it and said, this is old Chinese, and they wouldn't use this. They would use simplified Chinese. But it's so easy
gaslighting,
to
right?
confuse people if they don't know. And that's why trust is so important, and where you put your trust now. Um, because there's some things you're not going to go out and learn Chinese just for this one little thing, so you know what the difference between simplified Chinese and traditional Chinese is. But I think, and it's very obvious that everyone's lost their faith in mainstream institutions, especially our media, um, in certain ways. Because still, when everyone's like, "Well, prove your point," well, I got this here and here. You can't say that, you can't trust these people, and then here's my proof that I got it from these people. It's such a weird time. Um, it's I don't know. I think someone said in the chat, it's like you just don't know anymore. There's no way to be 100% sure of very much unless uh, it's something that you know yourself. It reminds me, this is years ago. I was on the show and I was arguing with these flat earthers about flat Earth, and we're going round and round. And I said, you know what? I was like, you guys have known me. We're friends. I said, you trust me? They're like, yeah, of course, we would trust you. I was like, I'm only arguing this because I really believe it. And they're like, yeah. I said, if this is before they went to space, like Branson and Musk and all, I said, if they did, if they do this and regular people can go to space, and let's say that I won, a spot on the shuttle, and I go up there, and I come back and I'm like, hey man, the world is round. I saw it. I got some pictures on my phone. It's round. I said, in all honesty, I said, be honest with me. Would you think, okay, I believe it now, or would you think they got Deshaun? And there was silence, dude. There was silence for like a minute or two, and everyone's like, yeah, I wouldn't believe it, dude. I said, exactly. I said, unless you go look yourself, I said, you're not going to believe anyone. You just won't. I said, so there's not a real, there's no way to really have an argument about it, because nothing's going to change your mind. And I think we're getting to that point with like just little things. If unless we, because there's nothing that we can be sure of anymore, because everything that we put trust in and put our faith in has lied to us, has we found in some way is corrupted.
The media itself, and that's one of the things people are seeing. I mean, and then now they're learning that Google's lying. It's hard to find things,
we went with
history.
DuckDuckGo. Now DuckDuckGo is
right.
Owned. That's why now we got pre-search. There's it's and no, it's tough.
Sorry to interrupt. This was I found that budget document for Oklahoma, which some great things happening in Oklahoma. I'm really excited about it. But this says the budget includes 2 specific revenue allocations for the first time. And this one is another $250 million. 2% will be deposited in the Progressing Rural Economic Prosperity Fund though no guidelines for this program currently exist. So I'm like, that's a lot of freaking 2% of that budget.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money to not even have guidelines for the program. And that's because they know they're destroying the current food system, because we're going to have a rural economic prosperity program. So we're not going to eat the same way anymore, guys. We're not going to have these big mega farms that, factories, our food, we're not going to have food factories anymore. We're going to have farms again, and we're going to go to our farms, our rural economic, our local farmers. I think that's what's going to happen. So
what if the only way to get that money is for you to farm cockroaches to eat?
No, you cannot talk to me like that.
Why not?
Oh, because I can't talk to you ever again if that's your answer.
That's what
No.
Gates has been pushing for the past few months.
Well, he's not even alive, so I'm not really worried about it.
But it doesn't.
It's ridiculous.
But he's gaining a lot of support when it comes to alternatives to meat. That's I mean, look at Westwood. He's a vegetarian. The move away from meat has been happening for a long time. But it's been happening for a long time. Move away from meat. It's not a necessity. If you go to other parts of the world, they don't believe that we eat meat every day. You go to Asia, they're like, you guys don't really eat meat like every day, really. And they're like, yeah, every meal, like there has to be some meat in it. Like, no. So that we've already been moving towards that. See, we go wacky and kooky and different things. When I see that there's no projected out for that money, I start thinking about the reason why there's no out for that money, and that could be to help existing farmers move to grubs and worms and.
No.
I hate maggots. I hate maggots so much.
No, that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening.
That's not what you want to happen.
No, it's not what's happening. We also just got approved for. Did you hear about me talking about the what's it called? The resources for what's it called?
They have Bitcoin Trini. They sell it at Walmart. You can go look it up. They have Soylent Green at Walmart. I bought it. Yeah, I would. I don't want to eat bugs either.
We're not eating bugs. Stop.
Bill Gates has fake meat, but he's really pushing for bug-based protein. It's not like he usually, it's not like he gets what he wants, right? Bill Gates never gets what he wants. He always gets what he wants. So, yeah, he does. He's behind all the vaccines and everything. He always gets what he wants. I don't know why people don't question him. His father was a eugenicist that started Planned Parenthood and literally said, we need to do this to,
get rid of. Yeah.
Curtail the black people, and no one.
Here we go. Oklahoma lands rare earth metal and manufacturing facility. There's more good news.
Rare earth metals manufacturing facility,
and that's going in Stillwater, and then we're getting that world's largest. We're getting that Panasonic battery factory at Port Catoosa or Port whatever, near Tulsa, which is pretty close to Stillwater. So if they have the rare earth metal manufacturing facility in Stillwater, and then they have the battery manufacturing, the world's largest factory in Tulsa or wherever that was, that Port Catoosa, those rare earth metal manufacturing, those items don't have to travel that far. It's pretty cool.
It is kind of cool.
See, something positive.
I see it as negative. I'm so sorry.
I know. It's not negative.
Let me throw this at you. We just sit here. Jim said, I agree, Sean. We ain't won shit yet from the cabal. I think that evil has such a big grasp, such a tight grasp. We could see all the, when it comes to our information, people that have been, deplatformed and kicked off, they have such a stranglehold. They are in control. Evil's in control. Control of the governments. It's in control of your schools. It's in control.
It's being shown to you how much control they had. Yes, I believe that.
But to put these important things there instead of California, New York, the other places where they're strongholds, makes me nervous about the unseen hold that they have in your state. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'm not buying what you're selling.
I'm not. Just this. That's what pops into my conspiratorial mind when I hear that. I'm like,
It's all right. I hear your concern. I respect
yes,
your
it's
opinion.
concern. It's concern. It's what it is. But I've heard a lot of stuff about California with the Smithfield plant leaving, and then a lot of my friends are talking about it's going to flip. Like
Blood,
Texas.
I would believe that had you made time to see me when we were in the same state at the same event, and I was looking for you for 3 days.
Yeah, I know. I was following around. I was like, "Hey, blood, 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 blood."
That was me.
He was like looking at me like.
I kept sending messages going, okay, I'm sitting at this. I even stopped walking for like almost 45 minutes and sat at one location. I was like in the group chat, okay, guys, I'm looking for, has anybody seen? I
Yeah,
found
cricket
J
powder.
Chains.
It's an additive. See, it's not eating bugs. It's eating powder. It's protein powder.
He's making fun of me.
Like I have had tons of protein powders
Mm-hmm.
that are like from vegetable pea powder. You put pea powder and stuff, which is funny because it's pea.
Stop with the bugs. I can't.
But it's peas, and it tastes like peas. It adds
No, Jim Montgomery, they're not putting us through a demise. They're showing what already was. And there actually is good stuff. Like what I just showed you is the good stuff's already in place, but the people had to see, just like Sean is saying, if the flat earthers believe what they believe, if you have to experience it yourself or you would never believe it. The saying that you can, which I'm terrible at that quote, I'm terrible at quoting everything, but you can trick a man easier than you can tell them that they've been tricked.
You can trick
and
a guy.
that is why we're going through this. And just like people want to blame Trump,
I think there's so many things
supporting the jab,
we've tried to get through to
bullshit,
people, and we have not been able to get through.
No,
but then when they
experienced
stuff or they saw it happen, like in Canada with what the banks did, and you're like, oh, that's what you're talking about. Oh,
that's what you're talking about.
You're not crazy.
And speaking of which, there was they did something to the Chinese similar to that. They some people were gonna to do like a run on the bank or something. I don't see the article now.
Also, Tom, it's easier to believe a lie than it is to change your opinion and believe the truth.
So, a protest planned by hundreds of bank depositors in central China seeking access to their frozen funds has been thwarted because the authorities have turned their health code apps red. So that's another thing, like they have to show you these things because you never would believe that because you're like, no, that's my money. And I still think that's coming for the U.S. I still think the U.S. will be shown, no, that's not your money.
Now, the fact that that's from Reuters, that to me is a big deal. That's real news and a real mainstream news place. That's a really good sign to me. That's showing people, I think. If that was,
Best News here,
Best News 13 or whatever, it's like, okay.
No, but I think it's still coming for the U.S. because that's part of waking the people up. They're still going to see it.
It's also
get ready. I think it's going to be an exciting end of June.
I don't know how exciting is. I'm a little scared. I'm not that excited.
I think you need more than the one bag of rice, to be honest.
Yeah. And then I'm out of water. I got to get water.
I have
like all these 5-gallon jugs we've been using to refill the fish tank for like a year. So got to go refill all the 5-gallon jugs.
It wouldn't hurt, Be prepared, not scared, don't they say? Sean inspired me to put my MAGA hat on. He showed up with his on, and since it's
Mine says
JT's birthday.
Make Texas a country again.
Oh, nice. Oh, I gotta take that banner off your mouth. And now we can see you. Make Texas a country again. I'm down with that. Actually, that was my suggestion for on Den Social this week, which you can go in and start voting, I think, already. I think we can already start going and vote.
I think, Daddy-O, I think that people, we need a catalyst, just something. And people talk about, the original Americans, how, this little tiny tax on tea, they were such, freedom loving people that was, they wouldn't even take that. I don't think it was that. I think it was just, that was like just one thing that caught fire and just blew up. Like people, cops shoot lots of people, lots of things that are wrong, that are bad, that are iffy. But Floyd, that one thing blew up the world, not just the United States, blew up the world. And I think it's going to be something like that. Something, it might be the food. It could have been the formula. Like Lisa said, the formula was one thing that would make the average person, the average mom, the average dad commit violence, to cross a line because their kid has to have food. It's not they can't, kind of go without, or it's a baby. It has to have that. I think it's going to be something like that. There's going to be something, and it won't even be that huge. It could be, there's no hot pockets. It's something that's going to make someone do something crazy, and it's going to spread like a wildfire because people are just wound up and they're ready. They're not just ready. They're fed up. They're done. They're just, they don't want to play anymore. The average Joe is paying attention now. They're annoyed, but they're not totally pissed. But I'll tell you what, everyone I know here in Texas, it was one of the hottest weeks. It was the hottest week all year. It was like 107, 108. And everyone was here for consensus. It was pretty hilarious.
That was every time I got in an Uber, that was the comment. It was like, it was the how's the weather, or a comment about it's hot.
Rice was saying I couldn't get drunk because I was sweating everything out faster than I could drink it in. But everyone I know, their thermostats are all turned up. They're not happy. They're not at 69, 71, 72, 73. Everyone's just up at 75, 76.
But like DARPA can manipulate the weather and all that. And they're trying to do these power outages or rolling power out. My hat is crooked. Rolling power outages. So they could do that with manipulating the weather and then
But we're talking about people pissed off. I think people can't afford to be comfortable. And the whole point of the bread and circus is to keep them comfortable. They can't afford to drive anywhere. And Ninja talks about this. Pretty soon, people aren't going to be able to afford their Netflix and all that kind of stuff. If you're talking about prices going up, if people can't afford their
Sean, you brought this up.
Their Netflix, they're going to be super pissed off.
Yeah, you brought up the fact that people. So they chose the test drive. They're going to get. You brought up that they're going to get to the point where they're going to have to choose going to work or not. It's not going to make sense to go to work. Well, if we think about it, COVID was a test run for people staying home, and who came to the rescue? Big government with the helicopter money. So now people have done that once, and they're going to go, well, just for a little while. It's transitory. I'm just going to get a little UBI. It's transitory. I mean, it could be something like that, where they're going to.
But I think they screwed up. Which I was saying this. Everyone's like, "Oh, get my $1,200." I was like, "Dude, you know that this is going to screw everything up like a year from now." And I was like, next Christmas.
That's kind of a mark of the beast thing. Like, are you going to make that choice? Everyone will be given a choice. Are you going to make
next
the
Christmas,
choice?
you'll have your $15 an hour minimum wage, but you'll be broker than you are today.
Right.
I even said, your food's going to cost twice as much or more. Your rent will be more, and everything is happening. And I'm sure that'll be a big thing. We raised minimum wage $15 an hour, but everything cost more than twice as much. So it's not as good as $7.50 an hour a year ago.
Cliff High said you do not want to live in a $600 silver world. That it's like Mad Max.
That's what everyone says whenever it's like, oh, what if the internet's gone and Bitcoin can't be? It's like, everything's terrible.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Well, I think it's gonna be an exciting week. I've got some serious woo-woo for you guys tomorrow. I've been seeing tons of comms. The red wave is coming. I've got some different ideas about that. I used to think it meant one thing. I think the red wave is going, maybe the falling stock market, the red wave, the red line.
Like I was saying, a lot of my friends are saying that California, like they just had an election that, like a lot of, because everyone's like, remember what these people did to you, and I'm like, dude, those people have been in office for decades. Right. I was like, it's not going to change. They're like, no, this person was voted out. This person.
It's not the people, it's that system. And that's what we need to walk away from, that whole system. But to do that, we have to build something new. So what are we going to build new?
Said we're at the point in our history where there's generations who don't know that it wasn't like this. They think there's always, like, George Washington, took the country, we made the country, and like, let's start some income tax. It didn't happen. It hasn't been around that long. It's like, okay, 1776, what are we going to make our money look like? The paper money is brand new. It's brand new.
Right.
All these things were experiments that have failed. They literally have failed. And they just keep them going. And people, I saw a really, really nice meme. It's people want to stop calling public schools because the public is not involved in them. The public doesn't run them. It's all run by the government. They need to be called government schools.
That's a great argument.
And that sounds terrible. You go to government schools, isn't this delicious cheese?
Government cheese. Yeah.
Oh, if you call them government schools, automatically you just don't trust them. But that's what they are. They're government schools. They're completely controlled by the government. So I think that's a good idea. I really do.
I like that idea. It's much more accurate for sure. Well, everybody, I wanted to give one more shout out to the big guy. Happy birthday, Donald Trump. Happy birthday to my president. And we are looking forward to seeing
Trump's birthday.
Yes, it's Trump's birthday.
You said it was Flag Day and it was the Army's birthday.
And it's I thought you knew it was Donald Trump's birthday. I'm sorry. No, I didn't. Yes, it's number 45's birthday. It's also the 245th Flag Day, which I think is significant. It's also the Army's birthday. And they were founded they have a date in common with Flag Day being founded, actually. The 777s. Oh, and that was on the Golf Channel the other day.
Why wasn't that on all the stuff you looked up? That was just changed 8 hours ago.
Sorry, it's all in my brain. Sorry.
Yeah, but that should have been. I wonder if that was all there and it was changed 8 hours ago. Like, why was all that updated 8 hours ago to that little snippet about the day?
I don't know. I just know all that's in my brain.
But if you looked up Flag Day and it was all posted 8 hours ago from Google, why is that? That should be like posted in 2013 or so. It's odd that all those things about the holiday are all 8 hours ago, and they're not like anything big or new. It's very basic stuff.
Mm-hmm. It is strange. And then the Army.
Do you know the numbers? Do you know what the numbers represent? Do you know what the number 777 represents?
No.
God.
Oh. Okay, so yeah.
Show
no,
one
77.5. Okay, I was thinking there was a 777. But June 14th, 775.
111 is supposed to represent man because it's
Okay.
the single 111.
I see 111 all the time.
666 is
June 14th, 777.
777 is supposed to be God. That's what I learned in
June 14th, 77.
Back in the 80s.
Okay, so Flag Day is 2 years after the birth of the Army. And then did it really give us a good meaning of Flag Day? Or reason for Flag Day?
No, it didn't really say much about it being.
It didn't say why.
Holiday. Look up Arbor
Adoption
Day.
of the Stars and Stripes.
Look up Arbor Day real quick.
Arbor Day?
Look up Arbor Day. I just want to see if there's more stuff about Arbor Day than there is about Flag Day. Arbor Day celebrating 50 years of tree planting, Arbor Day Foundation.
It wasn't planted. It wasn't from. Does it have a timestamp on it?
Scroll up. You made it one thing, Arbor, that Arbor Space Day.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Arbor Day founded in 1972. Doesn't say what. Here we go. See, that was the not even one that was posted. It's old.
But that doesn't have timestamps on it.
No, I guess because that was like just posted. That's why I had a timestamp.
All this doesn't have timestamps on it. But today's not Arbor Day.
No. That's my point. It wasn't like updated with any kind of new information or anything. It wasn't like that's the most basic thing that should have been there years ago. I don't know. It's weird.
Flag Day is a holiday. Woodrow Wilson. Oh, then 100 years later, he did a decree.
Mark the anniversary. June 4th is Flag Day. I remember Flag Day was like a big day when I was a kid growing up in the NJ. Everyone had a flag on their house. For that day, we got flags.
We always have a flag in our house, yeah. Flag Day is celebrated on June 14th each year and commemorates the adoption of the flag of the United States on June 14th, 1777. So this is like official creation and observed as annual holiday to mark the history behind the American flag and its symbolism.
That 8 hours ago, 9 hours ago. So it was 8 hours ago. It was all updated at the same time.
Maybe we need to say what is the symbolism of the U.S. flag.
Yeah.
Symbolism. Red symbolizes hardness and valor. White symbolizes purity and innocence, and blue represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice.
Yeah. July 4th. I'm interested to see what the this 4th of July is like.
Oh yeah.
This 4th of the one that you know the thing. You know what?
That thing.
That's what he's going to say. I know that's what the former vice president would say. it's 4th of July with you, but it's the thing. You know what it is for. There you go.
Yeah. 13 colonies and the 50 states of the Union. Well, that's current. Origins. Why is it not? Origins of the first American flag is unknown. Some believe it was designed by a New Jersey Congressman, Francis Hopkins, sewn by Philadelphia seamstress Betsy Ross. The name Old Glory was given to a large 10 by 17. Oh.
I did grow up in a place where that was much more, celebrated, where colonial, that kind of like Washington slept in my town. Whichever you go to any town, it's like Washington slept here. It's like a joke. It's like, how did he fight in the war if he was sleeping everywhere? Because every little town is like, Washington slept here. Washington slept here. So there was a much more. Plus, it was a much more time of like Americana. So I don't know.
13 stripes. Okay, so the resolution stated resolved that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes, alternated red and white, and that the Union be 13 stars, white in a blue field, representing a new constellation. On August 3rd, 49, President Harry Truman officially declared June 14th as Flag Day.
I always make jokes about Flag Day and Arbor Day and people don't know that Flag Day is a real holiday or Arbor Day is a holiday. I'm like, hey, what are you getting me for Flag Day? Do you have your decorations up? Do you have your Flag Day tree up?
So the other thing that a lot of people don't know is that flags that are flown in war are flown the way that we traditionally see it, this way. A flag in peace is hung this way.
Yeah, there's all types of weird stuff.
I asked my dad about
fringe
that.
on it and all that.
Oh, look, there's Boeing symbol with the Q in it. If you guys didn't watch the show yesterday, check that out. And
was it you that was talking about the Saturn worship?
No.
Who was I talking about the Saturn worship? Might have been Mind Your Biz. I don't know. Who was it? Anyway, the Saturn worship's really big, really freaky. It's a big thing with them. And I see Saturn. And I would think us Boeing would be much more aligned with the Saturn worshipers than with
Interesting. Very interesting.
Who the hell was telling me about Saturn worship? It was it was Joe. It was Joe Rhodes. Okay. It was off-camera stuff, so it was,
Speaking of Joe Rhodes, tomorrow morning. No, today's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Thursday morning. Reggie Middleton's going to be on World Blockchain Roundtable with us, with me and you. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to join. I'm going to be joining like from the car.
Yeah, bothers me that you don't ever go.
What do you mean I don't ever go?
You don't ever go on there because you're like, I don't know a lot about that, dude.
I didn't go to the last one.
You didn't go to the one before that.
Did I miss the last two?
Yeah, you missed the last 2 or 3.
No, I only missed 2 then.
I'm the dumbest guy on there, man. I am like, those people are so smart.
Well, they were doing manufacturing. And I was like,
you know what that is. You're sitting here talking about Samsung and whatnot, rare earth metals. You could have been talking about that.
Well, but I guess I don't realize. I'm learning that maybe I do have. Okay, well, maybe I do have more to contribute than I realize.
See, you just throw something out there, then they take off with it. It's cool.
Yeah. But you guys, you can go on here, and I'll put the link for this because if you have questions that you want to ask Sean, me, Joe, Reggie, Greg will probably be on there. I don't know who else is.
Join 10. That's their social media platform. That is like decentralized. It's crypto based. It's like Facebook and everything else, but it's better because it's a decentralized and it's
And
for
you
free.
can earn crypto while you're playing around on it, which is pretty cool. I've really been enjoying it. And like here, my friend Alien joined, and he asked a question. He said, how do we create more accountability in the DeFi space? So I went and clicked and upvoted his question. So that hopefully will be one of the questions that we, so what they do is, because it's decentralized, so when we're on the show, we'll talk and do our current event stuff, which is a lot of fun. But then when we get into the topic for the episodes, request for analysis, then the host will say, use this format. I'm terrible at following direction. Your question goes here. If question, if topic, your topic goes here. So looks like nobody else does it either. So we're all a bunch of decentralized rule breakers. But then you can put your question down here. So you can reply and put your question down here, and then you can upvote other questions. And see.
And the questions that are the highest votes are the ones we tackle first, which we usually get through them all. But if we can't, then it's only we answer the ones that are the highest votes.
Now that there's a time limit on the show.
Yes. There was always a time limit. It used to be an hour, but
but nobody listened to it.
Yeah. And then so we went to, and then we put up for a vote, actually, and it was an hour and a half, because it was an hour. It was hour and a half or 2 hours. And we did, I think we did 2 hours like at first, and then people voted to have it to go to an hour and a half.
That's really cool, though. I really enjoy that. So thank you so much for introducing me to that group of people. I've really, really enjoyed that. And I actually was on with
Amanda to bring you on, because I was the pretty one, before. So now I'm not anymore. I had to give that. I'm just the funny one.
You're the funny one. Well, we make a good pair. So
yeah, I used to be the funny and the pretty. Now just
you're funny. Well, I was great seeing you in person, getting to give you a hug and a big smooch on the cheek.
Yeah.
And tell you hi and see the boys and see Bryce and
yeah, they liked meeting y'all too. It was
it was a great time.
But then I liked that hotel, actually.
That was a really nice hotel you guys were staying at. We made a mistake. We were new thing on our checklist when me and my friend Ledger Gypsy, when we travel together, you need to find out where the local homeless shelter is and make sure that it's not in between you and the conference center if you plan to be walking. Because
there was like on the corner, there's like all these clothes like hung on like the wall. And I was like, I don't know if that person's selling those things or if that's their house when they live there. I don't know.
Oh, here. Dave's in the chat. So he says it's request for, yes, and Dave will be on there, of course. Request for analysis week. So ask us to analyze a project, please. Oh, well, I know which one I'm going to go ask about.
How about this Luna thing?
Oh, gosh, please no. Not that.
I think it's going to be big.
Huge. No.
Gotta be huge.
Don't do that. Don't do that. All right, guys. Well, we are going to roll. I got to get packing. And I went out to the location for the meetup or it's not a meetup, for the Team Mighty celebration. And I took some video. We're going to be able to spend like a whole day there. There is whitewater rafting. There's surfing. There is like zip lines. There's this tower thing where you like climb around with this harness thing on yourself and then you go down this giant slide. There's rock climbing. There's e-gaming or some kind of
which
speed gaming. I don't know. It's like electronic.
Okay, electronic. Not extreme
gaming. Okay. I don't know. I'll have to show you.
Not extreme like sports, but electronic.
I don't know. It's some kind of gaming.
I want to tell you about Ezra. Ezra's doing really well.
Oh, good.
I had faith in you when no one else did, which was very disheartening for me. Everyone's like, no, Sean, He has bad brain damage, which he does have brain damage, but he's 1. So it's like, it's not done developing, you know? But he's, what the doctor said that it's like he won't be able to do anything. It's going to be like a vegetable. He's, like, you could see in his eyes that he's not, like, he's happy and there's a spark. But he's sitting up now on his own.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Which is, it's been like a week.
Yeah.
And
they're back home now, right?
Yeah, they're back home.
So hopefully they're following up with doctors and therapists.
Tomorrow, I think, is the eye appointment, because
okay,
you're the one that told me you would be blind. So I'm worried about that.
Depending on the amount of oxygen, and he's at least closer to 1, so he's a little less at risk.
But yeah, he's doing like way better than they ever thought he would be doing. I think it's like my son Ted said, his brain's still developing. You know, before I even talked to you about what you know about more about it, and like you said, because it's developing, it goes to where it is, and it goes around it, and so I think he's going to be a lot better than anybody expects. And y'all's help. She wanted me. I think it was Jim. I think you sent her that Litecoin last week, and she wanted me to tell you thank you. She really appreciates it.
Awesome. Yeah.
They're trying really hard to not sell any Litecoin.
Oh, don't sell it now.
Because they're trying to hold it, because it went up. She was like, we had $180, and it went up to $210 the next day. I'm like, yeah, you could literally triple that like in the next few months if you cannot, not touch it till
they can wait. Yeah.
But
so we've got Westwoods this weekend. You guys, you can give to Autumn. You can also go to her GoFundMe. So I'll continue to have that I think it's still in the description. If not, I'll double check and make sure to put it in there to help out with baby Ezra and their expenses that they're going through. And then, like I was saying, I went out to the Team Mighty event. We've got Westwoods this weekend, and there's opportunities. There's at least 2 more spots for the VIP dinner that I know of. And then we've got the meetup itself is open to the public at Peoria Pizza Works. You can go to litecoinlisa.net and go to events. You can click on the link and you get the location there in Peoria, Illinois, to meet us there. We've got all kinds of, I'm going to bring some of Sean's copper to give away that he gave me.
I gave her some fridge magnets. You can get some of those away.
Yes, and I have the refrigerator magnets. Yeah. And we have all kinds of fun stuff. So get there and we'll be there for the event. And then starting next week, I just talked to Josh from Road to Ruta, and I should have the page up and built and have ticket sales starting. So we'll probably do a show maybe next week at the happy hour or something, and we'll launch the ticket sales for the Team Mighty event on August 6th. And we're going to have human events. We'll be there. You guys know they post stuff with Jack Pocio-Becky or whatever, however you're supposed to say his name. But Herman, who's doing a thing where they speak at colleges, and then Felisa with Patriot Party Rocks will be there, and Bixweir. So you'll want to be there, and it's an amazing location. So we'll have the outdoor stuff that you can do during the day. There's a dog park, even if you want to bring your dog. You can't bring the dog inside the event later in the evening. So the event itself will be from 5 to 8:30 inside. It'll be catered and have a cash bar. But it's going to be pretty amazing. So we'll have the whole day. I get to share my hometown with you guys and talk about everything I love and some people that are amazing in my life. So hopefully you guys can make it to Oklahoma City and plan on being with us August 6th. Sean, do you have anything else coming up in your life?
I have some interviews that I just did. You can check them out. Interview with Rhodes. I have an interview I'm supposed to do today. I don't know if I'm going to get that done. I'm sure I'll have it done this week. About Origin Foundation.
Origin.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. It's kind of, NFTs, but they're it's like real art, like $1 million art, um, and then collectibles and other stuff. It look kind of neat. What else? You know what? There's a lot. There's a hell of a lot.
You have a lot going on.
I had it was a big deal. So meeting up with you and I kind of really feel revitalized with my channel and starting it. So I want to expand it. I'm going to have a lot of people. Like I want to have Economic Ninja on. I want to have people from different communities, which are they're all of them are freedom oriented, like gun community, traditional finance, but all of them are more like libertarian or a different facet of freedom.
Make sure you go and vote in the gun lair in Den this week to try to get that lair launched.
Also, I'm going to I'm going to start doing a show. I'm bringing it back. It used to be, I didn't do it. It was a huge show. The guy that did it, I think he was a dick and douche.
Oh.
He might not be a dick or douche. He seemed like a little bit of a dick or douche. And then he was a real bad dick or douche to me. Because I sent him this thing and it was a meme. I'm like, hey, I made this. I thought you might use it on your show. He was like, oh, yeah, it was pretty good. I thought, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. He goes, yeah, it was good. When I did it, but I did it good. I'm like, you.
Oh, what a jerk.
I was like, well, you're a dick. Okay. But yeah, so I'm gonna start doing that. Try to do more content and more like collabs and stuff.
Yeah. Good. Well, I'm excited. That's good. Very cool. Very cool. Well, so you guys go check out Sean's channel and subscribe and turn on the notifications and make sure you're watching all those. And then I'll see you on Thursday. If I don't talk to you before, I'll probably talk to you before. But
me? I'm not sure to you. That's not sure.
Yes, you.
I was talking to them. Like, you're doing a show tomorrow. What are you talking about?
Yes, but I'm talking to everybody in the chat. I'll see them tomorrow, and then I will see them all the next day and the next day, and in person, hopefully on Friday at Westwood's in Peoria. So good stuff. It's going so fast. My gosh, can't believe it's already almost June 17th. Happy birthday, Trump. We love you. We got to do the daddy dance to go out. The Trump dance. Happy birthday.